What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Fantastic Duo Show. Here we go once again with the man, the myth, the legend, Blue Zeo Ranger here. Steve Cardenas, all the way from across the pond. What's up, Steve?
That's right. That's like 1 o'clock in the morning here right now, and we are live. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to everyone out in the Twitch universe. Appreciate you guys for joining us today. And it's pretty exciting because, as you guys know, we're going to have Kat and Nakia on today. And we're going to talk all kinds of cool Power Rangers stuff. We're going to talk about Power Rangers Playback and all that good stuff. So we're very excited. But we also have one other special person that we're going to bring on today, too. And that is the lovely Miss Alice Pollard. She's going to join us today as well. So I think we should probably just go ahead and introduce everybody. Yeah, Alex?
Let's do it, baby.
Let's bring them on. Hey, let's welcome everyone.
Hey,
welcome, Kat.
everybody's
Welcome
here.
Alex. You guys can't hear it, but there's a clap track going on. Everybody's clapping for you.
And by the way, already we have the stream is already going crazy. They have a hype train already going on. It's insane. We just got here and we got a hype train going on in the chat room. Shout out to everybody right now who's on here. We'll be able to also get into your questions a little later after they, everybody introduces themselves too. Just to want to let everybody on the chat know that much. And this is like a big reunion for a lot of you guys here on the chat.
It is in a lot of ways, actually. A lot of big reunions going on. Because we have, first of all, of course, the lovely Miss Nakia Burrise, and of course, Catherine Sutherland as well, who were my co-stars on Power Rangers Zeo. And then they went on to do Turbo after I left, and so they had much success there as well. And so welcome, guys. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you coming. So how's everybody doing over there in California right now?
Well, thank you, first of all, for having us on the show. Like, it is so great to see you. And I know that you said it's 1 o'clock in the morning. God bless you for being up.
You look great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're okay with it. We're okay with it.
It's wild out here. Like, you literally cannot see the sky. Like, the smoke is so bad that it's like an apocalypse. Seriously, you go outside and you cannot see the sun. It's a bit scary, and the smell is very overwhelming.
Wow, that's insane. I saw pictures of what the Golden Gate Bridge looked like from a distance, and it was just insane. Everything engulfed in red.
And I know that, like, what the other day was like California's highest recorded heat wave ever in history in the whole world, 121 degrees. That's
Jesus.
Insane for Los
We
Angeles.
we were filming Who Knows It Best, one of our segments for our show, and we were in Nakia's husband's warehouse where our set is, and it was like 115 degrees. Nakia looked on her Fitbit and she's like, well, I don't need to do my steps today. I've burned 1,100 calories. You're literally dripping with sweat. It was awful.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so insane. But at least Alice is in a countryside.
I'm in a meadow with horses.
She's in a meadow. Actually, if she just leans this way a little bit, she's right here. Hey.
She's doing so weird, trot.
So the funny thing is, when I did say that it was a reunion of some sorts, not only was for Kat, Nakia, and yourself, Steve, but you reunited with your lovely, beautiful girlfriend here.
Exactly.
So
we hadn't seen each other since we hadn't seen each other since February, and it was getting
brutal. That's brutal.
I mean, it's like, when you definitely know that there's the person that you want to be with, and then geography and work constraints confine us. We just had to try to find another alternative. And lucky for me, I mean, we can do podcasts from anywhere. We can do comic shops from anywhere. So I decided to come here for a couple of years, and then because Alice, she's a doctor. She's a stem cell research scientist, and she works for a pharmaceutical company. And she is doing amazing work. She's a very smart one. Yes, yeah. She did all the grades in school and college and after college too. She went all the way up. But anyway, so she's doing important work here, and her contract isn't up for another couple of years. So in a couple of years we can re-explore everything, and then we'll probably come back to the States together. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
I
Now
love
we're
that.
gonna be here and doing the podcast from 1:00 in the morning, just so we can keep reaching out to everybody in the Twitchverse. So
We love you.
Very excited about this. But yeah, exactly.
And we thank you for that, Steve. And I did mention it before he was leaving. I was like, dude, do you want to like just change it or whatnot? He's like, no, man, we are doing this. 1 a.m. We're going to stay steady.
Well, hey, and I know we're not even getting into Catherine and Nakia, but we're going to. But like when we did the other show with the wrestlers, with Lisa, Mickey James, and SoCal Val. SoCal Val lives here in England as well, and she was doing the show 1:00 in the morning. Yeah. She does her podcast at the same time all the time, every single week. So
most of your do you call them followers on Twitch? I don't know.
We call them the Fantastic Crew.
The Fantastic Crew.
Yes,
nice. Are they based in America? Are they based here mostly, or are they all over the world? I think
they're
all over the world. Yeah.
Wow.
Let's ask them where are they all from. Yeah. We can ask where they're from in the chat.
We call them Twitches.
Twitches, yeah.
I love it.
What's up, Twitches?
And there's the guys that hide behind the curtain, looking at people.
And we do have the emotes as well. So the emotes help out. So we got the Fantastic Crew emotes, and we got a bunch of other ones. But yeah, it's really cool. Like everyone has embraced the show, and it's become kind of like a worldwide thing. So if you guys want to throw on the chat room real quick where you're from, as long as if you want to highlight any questions that you want us to ask any of our beautiful participants here, yes, that would include Steve, me calling him beautiful. So if you guys have any questions, please make sure you do that. Really quick, I want to Steve, do you mind if I throw some questions out there for both Nakia and Kat?
Yeah, absolutely.
We know that you guys are longtime friends, and we see it on social media and on everything, which is really cool that you guys stayed this close even after the show. But before we got there, before you guys got close, how did you get on the show? I don't know which ones which one of you wants to start off.
I can go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Australian, so I was in Australia auditioning and modeling and whatnot, and I just got naturally, and I got a call for this American children's show called Power Rangers, which I had no idea. I just was excited that it filmed in America. And and I got to audition, and then the second audition was a martial arts routine as well. And then I met Shuki Levy on the third audition, and there was about 5 of us at that point. We were all blonde, looked very similar. And I remember saying to him when I left, like, I hope you make the right decision, Mr. Levy. Like, I got a moment of boldness.
Wait, they said what? I'm sorry.
I said to Shuki, I hope you make the right decision, Mr. Levy.
Good job. Now,
that's so unlike me.
That's so amazing, though. Well, you know what? Sometimes, when you get thrown into a situation like that, where like so much is on the line, sometimes you just, sometimes you just come out with something.
Yes.
Like when I auditioned for Haim, and I swear to God, this is the actual truth that he said this to me right to my face. He said, "So you're going to make me a lot of money, but you're not going to make any money. So how do you feel about that?"
Wow.
And I was like, well, I guess you can't. And where the hell this even came from, or have no idea. But I said, I guess you can't put a price on exposure. And he was like,
he was like, I like this boy. I like this boy.
And I don't even know where that came from, because I was just some 20-year-old kid. I don't know
Crazy.
How I pulled that like right out of my rectum, because I had no idea where that came from. I had never said that before in my life ever,
No.
And and somehow it just came out, and I think they really liked what my answer. So
anyway.
You right out of the rectum. That must have smelled so good.
Never smelled sweeter.
Wow.
That's funny. I ended up saying something boldly to Shuki when I auditioned too, which I didn't know. So now I'm learning. I'm like, wow, maybe I need to do that when I go in on auditions, because I seriously
think you need to go balls out, right?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt anything. You just do your best. So I got the audition when I was at UCLA. I was a junior in college. I didn't know what Power Rangers was. I didn't watch a lot of television. I didn't know I was replacing anyone. I just knew that I had to wear yellow, and that I was possibly going to be a series regular. That was about all I knew. And so when I got there, there were tons of tons of girls there. And I remember not caring because I'd gotten to a point in my auditions that I was like stressing over every audition. This particular one, I was like, I'm going to go and do what I got to do. And I remember vividly getting into my car, tossing the sides behind me and driving off and just being like, yay.
Wow.
And then like two weeks later, I get a call back. And then there was probably about 40 of us. Then I get another call back. It was down to about 7 of us. Then I got another call back. It was down to 3 of us. And that's when I met the beautiful Sutherland there because my screen test was with her.
Nice.
And I remember because we had driven up to where you guys were actually filming Power Rangers in Valencia, and we were sitting inside the lobby waiting, and it was such an uncomfortable room because, you know, all 3 of us obviously really wanted the job. And, you know, one in particular was actually both of them were trying to be intimidating in some kind of way. And I was just sitting there like, okay, Lord, just help a sister out. And I remember meeting Kat and just, it just felt really natural in the audition. And then I still had to wait another week. And then it was down to 2 of us. And that's when I had the final audition with Shuki. And it was just a general interview. And he asked me what my birthday was. And I was like, October 21st. And he was like, oh, you know, Amy Jo Johnson's birthday is in October. And he told me the date. I can't remember. Then he was like, Catherine Sutherland's birthday is October 24th. And I said, well, then you should just hire another birthday with it. I said, then you need to just hire somebody else with another October birthday. And he just sat there and looked at me. And I was like,
right?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's a true phrase. Like fortune favors the bold. You know what I mean? Like the bolder you are, I guess.
I like that.
You know, there's something to be said about that, I guess. You know, it's quite interesting. So now I think Kat, didn't you also audition for the movie? Didn't you audition for Dulcia, right?
I did. I auditioned for Dulcia and I was told I looked too young. Dulcia
I think you were too young at that time.
Yeah, she was very like womanly and sexy and just I think Gabrielle was
now you could be the perfect Dulcia.
Oh, I'm way too old for that costume. That would be a horror movie.
Oh man, I don't think any of us want to wear that costume.
But yeah, Gabrielle was actually, she had the same agent as me. We reconnected at Power Morphicon, and it was really funny because we'd never actually met, but we knew of each other because the industry's so small over there.
Sure, of course.
She was perfect for that part. So it worked out in both of our favor.
Well, yeah, no, it worked out great because it's like almost immediately after that, you pretty much were like already being like, you know, courted at that point. So that's cool.
Yeah.
And you were, and Nakia, you were in college, but where was it? Were you at UCLA or were you up in near Stockton? Where?
UCLA.
Oh,
UCLA.
Oh, you were at UCLA. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so but you're from Northern California though.
I'm from Stockton. Yeah, good memory there, Steve.
Yeah.
You know, my parents just love Steve. I don't know why.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. No, they do.
I don't know why either.
they met Steve during the on set when my parents had come on set, and they just fell in love with him. And they would always ask, even to this day, "How's Steve doing? How's Steve Cardenas doing?"
Yes.
Well, Steve was.
I didn't know that.
You were always for Nakia and I have said this in other interviews that you were always so friendly. Like when we both came on the set, you were the one that came and talked to us and made us feel comfortable. And you're a good guy.
Yeah.
I have my moments. Sometimes I'm a scumbag, you know. But,
I think we all have those moments, Steve.
Yeah, right. Yeah, probably. I try to.
He knew what it was like to be the new person in the block, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is that side of it for sure, you know. You know, I don't know, for some reason, I don't know. I felt like I wanted to just say hello to them and
of course
make them feel like that, you know, because it can be intimidating when you come to a cast that's everybody's already established a friendship and a bond and a relationship, and now you have to somehow try to ingratiate yourself into that, but without being like annoying or without being like, you know, or seeming like you're too whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
You could never be annoying.
Well, no, I just know, like, I felt like I didn't want to be that person, you know, but I figured maybe if I would just be the one that took initiative first, then they wouldn't have to feel like they've got to try to.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
that's very sweet.
Well,
I felt very welcomed.
I'm known for throwing the hard questions out there on the show.
Oh, here comes some hard ones, guys.
And,
throw it, toss it.
I even have a hard questions emo. It's me. I'm a former United States Marine, so it's me shooting my M16, and it says hard questions. So thank you, appreciate that. So here's a question, and I know it's gonna sound silly, but I mean it was for me. What I'm about to ask, but how did it feel to be the heartthrobs that you were back in the day, right? Because it's coming in a lot in the chat, okay? You guys still look great. You guys still look fine. You guys are gorgeous.
You guys really do.
Yeah. So for me, right? Like I grew up watching the OG, then it went over to you guys, and let me tell you something. It never ended. I had the ultimate crush on both of y'all. I just didn't know who to choose, okay? And I was just like, I was like, you know what?
You did.
Maybe I'll date. Maybe I'll have one. I'll have one for fall. I'll have one for winter. I don't know. I was a kid. I didn't know any better, right? But you guys, you guys were certainly two of the most beautiful ones on the show, and you guys not only were you physical and you had your you acted, you were on top of your game, but you had that aspect on top of you, right? So like, how did you guys take that all in? This is before social media, right? So is there any weird stories of any like fans like trying to get trying to slide in your DMs when there wasn't any DMs, basically?
Yeah, how did people slide in?
Yeah.
It's called snail mail.
Snail mail, exactly. We would get big bundles of fan mail delivered to us, and I used to try to read everything, but I always got the weird ones, like the people in prison, or like I got like a lot of very strange. I had one guy that was like sending me chocolates, and like he must have read like in an interview that I liked mysteries or something. So I would get piles of mystery books and chocolates. Like I would even eat chocolate from someone I don't know. He would send stuff to my agent, and then apparently he contacted one day. My mother-in-law called me and said that he called her. I'm like, how the hell did he connect that? Because I have a different last name, but it was crazy. So I got some of the weird ones.
You did, Kat.
So weird.
Jesus, that's very sweet of you to say that, Alex. I did not feel beautiful on the show. I think I feel more beautiful older than I did on the show, because I really felt like they did Tanya wrong.
Yeah,
I understand. I can feel you.
Hairdos.
Yes. Because they had you in the African getup.
Way
past the toga.
My hair, yes. They couldn't figure out the sister's hair, and I know Karen has probably talked about this as well. That I remember just being on the show. I didn't want to seem like any kind of diva or anything like that. So I remember just sitting there looking at them doing my hair and just being like, oh dear God, this is not cute. Oh God. No. And my hair and I remember one particular time they had sprayed my hair so much that it was just like when I moved my head, it was like a helmet. It was like it wouldn't even blow in the wind.
Oh my God.
So
why don't I not remember any of that at all for whatever reason?
I don't know. Because you know what? Because I would go there having my hair already done, and then I would take it down and do it nicely when I left. So hopefully you remembered that part of me.
Yes. That's
amazing.
I generally didn't tend to sit like with the ladies when you guys were doing your makeup. It was like, for whatever reason, I don't know. I mean, it was different all the time, right? Like, I mean, one day, it's just kind of whoever got there first come, first serve. So
I was always first. Always.
I have no doubt. I
blame Sai. Sai just used to do me wrong. He just didn't like me.
Sai? Oh, yeah. Sai, I know. So Sai was the production assistant. He was the key production assistant. And then ended up being like a second AD. Or something.
Yeah.
AD. on the show, and he was essentially the Ranger Wrangler. You know what I mean? It was his job to kind of make sure that we got.
Why he had it out for me. I felt like he always put me like. I would say, can I come in second? And at 5 o'clock, I'm like, what the heck? Like Jason Frank takes longer than I do. And the more I complained, the more he'd put me first.
I don't know. I can't speak to it, but because I never knew about that dynamic between you guys. But it's pretty funny.
I don't know what I did. I was nice. I wasn't a diva.
Oh God.
Anyway.
You know. But yeah, and for sure. And Catherine, thank you for sending that signed card.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
You know, that was I put that up with in the collection bin, you know, and stuff like that. So that was really cool. That was really cool of you. Yeah, Steve, she sent over a headshot card that had like a double-sided headshot on the back.
It was from my modeling days.
From her modeling days. Oh, yeah.
Oh, and did you you're posting it up right now on the feed?
I posted it. Yeah,
she
I
posted
posted on my page, and Alexis wrote to me, and he's like, "Oh, I love that picture. I would love one." And I have a bunch of them because I used, when in the days when we'd audition, we used to have to take, headshots.
Actual,
I sent him one.
Yeah, so it was
cool. Great if we could actually get autographs from you guys, because that would be because we would love to do them in the giveaway. We do a once a month giveaway, and we pick one person and we give them everything from that
in one giant
any guest that we had on, we get autographs. We give them Power Ranger, all kinds of Power Ranger stuff. We give them a big, huge gift pack, and it has everything. So if you guys could do some autographs, that would be
absolutely
huge.
And
okay, cool.
And I can send you guys my address to. Yeah.
So, just tell us where to send it.
For sure, yeah. And so what he's talking about really quickly, and then I'm going to ask some fan questions, is for anyone who's new here, because we have a ton of new people on right now that are coming from your side of things. So thank you very much for sharing the stream, guys. But yeah, so anybody who is a subscriber here to our channel, you can either be a paid subscriber through Twitch, but also if you are an Amazon subscriber already, if you have Amazon, they give you a free Prime sub. So that helps the show out. Free 30 days. You just guys got to continue.
Does it have dipping sauce too? The Prime sub?
It comes with the sauce, yeah. So part of the giveaway is getting this big Boom Studios year 2 comic book. Like actual book. We're giving away some signed autograph pictures by Brad Hawkins and a signed autograph baseball card by Steve. And then Steve once in a while throws in some extra cool things, so you guys be on the lookout for that. And then if we get something from you lovely ladies, we'll throw that in there as well. And we do a random generator online that we throw all the subs in there, and whatever sub gets picked gets that giant prize. Smiley girl on the chat room got the last one. So that should be heading out to her soon. So yeah, let me head over to some.
I like that name.
Yeah, let me head over to the questions here, guys. They want to know for Catherine.
While he's fielding questions too, I actually wanted to say so. Actually, Nakia and Kat, you guys were the first ones to meet Alice, right? From all of my Ranger friends.
Yeah.
Because we were at a Comic-Con together in Scotland.
Yeah.
Glasgow. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
and he was so excited to introduce you to us, Alice. It was so cute, and we were like, "Oh, this must be a good one. I think this one's gonna stick around for a while."
Well, I mean, you guys have known me for a long time. You know what I mean? And for the most time that you've known me to be single. I mean, I had one other girlfriend before who I was with for about 3 years. And then I was single for like 6 6.5 years. Yeah.
And very happy. Like you were committed to that.
Yeah. And I was committed to that. Exactly. So, but sometimes life just throws you an unexpected something.
And that's, remember we had that conversation. Do you remember me sitting with you? And I was like, see, when love hits you, you're not going to be turning. He's like, Kat, I'm good. And I'm like, no, I'm telling you. And then you came along and he was like,
Aww, that's amazing.
Quite all right. It's fine. It's fine.
He's a good guy.
Look, no, it's okay. You know what I mean? Because before, I mean, I was single for a long time, but it wasn't like I was lonely that time. I dated a lot. You know what I mean? But you know how like in your mind you might have like a tick mark. Like a list of tick marks.
Yes.
And this person you got to find if someone that you're dating or whatever hits 4 or 5 of the 6 or whatever it might be, so it's not going to be right. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just be like, okay, well, I'm going to settle because they hit 5 out of the 6.
Yeah.
No, I said, I'm not going to, until I find like somebody that's going to be okay with all of my faults and my good things, then I'm not going to, you know what I mean? So I had to, I waited a long time, and I was fine with that.
That's beautiful.
But it was only once I was truly happy with myself about it. Anyway, enough about me and my listeners. I love you.
You guys.
Anyway, sorry. I just said I wanted to kind of say why we thought we should have Alice come on this show with you guys today, because you guys were actually the first ones out of all my Ranger friends that met her.
Yes.
So
and we were honored. We were honored that you would even, introduce us. That you would, feel that you wanted to introduce us. So thank you.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't I share her with my closest friends? You know what I mean? Like, because it's like that's, those are the people that you want to share those kinds of things with. So it's all good. Anyway, sorry. Okay, Alex, I know the fans have got a lot of questions, so please.
No, I'm good.
Sorry.
I'm feeling warm inside.
Oh, we're good now?
I'm feeling warm inside.
I'm feeling warm inside, but I think it's because the wind.
So this first, okay, so I'm just going to ask this one real quick. This is for the both of you. Are you guys working on any new projects?
Well, with just Power Rangers Playback, we have been so blessed because we started it right at the beginning of COVID, like right before the lockdown. And it was actually a gift because people have been so unhappy and frustrated and confined. And so they were looking for something to bring them some happiness. And our show is all about that. Like, this one makes me laugh. Like, I almost pee my pants every time.
This one.
This one.
Yeah.
Which
I'm
one?
assuming she's talking about me.
This one.
Right. Yeah.
That
Wherever
one.
she is.
Where's she in space?
So it's been really a lot of work, but we are I just so appreciative of how much support we've gotten from the fandom and how much people are enjoying it. So that's our main project. Kia has a couple of other things also going on.
Well, I'm
gonna
primarily talk about Power Rangers Playback. As you can see, we're repping Power Rangers Playback.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's so many aspects, and actually in Scotland, when we were with Steve and Alice, is where we came up with the idea of Power Rangers Playback.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yes. It was there that we were sitting there because we had a lot of time on our hands. And we're like, okay, we were looking at Troy and
Nolan.
Troy Nolan and
Troy
and
Baker
Nolan.
And Nolan North.
Thank you, always.
Oh,
and,
the voiceover guys from okay, got it.
Yes, who have a YouTube channel. And I was like, oh, what do they do? And so we got the idea of let's start off with watching Power Ranger episodes and commenting about how we felt when we in this scene in that episode, and so that's how we started. And then we start getting a lot of copyright issues.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of copyright. And even when we were doing fair use and just using a little bit of the footage, we would still get copyright issues. And so it was very overwhelming, because we were getting such a huge response. To think that we weren't going to be able to continue with this channel, it was we have to come up with other content. So at nighttime is when my mind starts to think. And so I start writing down, I was praying, and I was like, Lord, just give me some ideas. And I start writing down a whole bunch of different ideas. And so I talked to Kat about it, and I was like, what about Power Cook-Off? What about a television show a game show called Who Knows It Best? And so we've added different segments, and we've just kind of evolved, and we have so much to offer on our channel, so many different things. We have a game show, we have a Power Cook-Off, we have favorite things, and then we have guests, which you're going to be on our guests. You're going to be one of our guests next week. On Power Rangers Playback. Yeah, we just had JDF yesterday, and that was the longest
2 hours.
Live. Yes, we've never gone that long, but we had to keep going because we had so many people that had paid for questions. So so that's what we've been primarily just just working on. You know,
it's been funny because in the beginning, Nakia's a total night owl and I'm a morning person. So we laugh because are you a night owl too? So I'll wake up in the morning, you know, I get up at 6 and I have like all of her, like, you can see her brain has just been going all night long. I'm like, what about this? And what about that? Don't forget to check this. So I get up and I'm like, okay, I've done this, I've done that. And so when she wakes up, she's like, oh, Kat's like, I've been texting her. It's so funny. So we are a good team. We're a really good team.
Yeah.
So, but with the who knows it best with the game show, she just took that to a whole nother level. She came up with a set concept, and I was away at the time. I was visiting family, and she sent me all these beautiful like sets that her and her husband had created, and it looks so professional. Like I was so excited when I saw it.
Great.
So,
I mean, from the episodes I've seen, it like the game show stuff, it looks really good.
It
looks
really
dope
good.
for
Good job,
sure.
Nakia. I didn't realize you were like, you know, production.
She's a producer.
You don't hear it right now, but there's applauses right now in the background. Everyone's applauding. So just, you know, it's all good.
From the Twitch verse.
From the Twitch verse.
Nakia is a total producer. Like she's just she handles business that way.
So you're like me. Right. I'm up at night just thinking of things. I produce and I do other shows as well. Like I produce for podcasts for the Real Housewives of New Jersey and stuff like that. So like I do all the things, and I also produce other small TV shows and just like movies that just go on Netflix. Nothing big. It's just like whatever I can get my hands on, you know. And our brains are wired that way.
Yes.
It's 3 a.m. here, midnight you guys. And I'm like sitting here just like, what else am I going to do? Sometimes I'll catch Steve. Steve's like, hey, are you awake? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm awake.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's true. I mean, it's like, you know, I'm basically like, you know, like the guy who can get the people on the show. I'm like the booker, and he's like,
and that's the biggest part, though, because without his Rolodex, none of this would be happening. I'd just be some weird guy hitting Steve up in his DMs like, hey, want to do a show with me? You know?
We'd change it to the Fantastic Three. It would be me, Alice, and Alex.
Yeah.
And we'd be like, so what did you guys do today? Oh,
yeah. For sure. Here's another question. This one's for Catherine. How was it like replacing Amy Jo as the Pink Ranger?
I get asked that.
And how was it getting that question for the millionth
4,000th
time?
Yeah.
You know, it was at first I didn't know I was replacing anybody. I thought I was an addition to the cast. So I didn't know I was replacing her until I got to America, actually. So Amy Jo wanted to leave. She was ready to move on, but you know, stepping into the show, I mean, when I realized how popular she was and everything, I felt very intimidated, but I was also sensitive to the fact that this was her show and her family. So I was very careful to not step on her toes when I joined the show.
Even though you could totally kick her ass because you're like,
squash.
At least I had taller than her.
I am. Like literally she comes up, I
pick her up
under
and
my
spin
arm.
her around and be like,
They used to have to put her and Karen on apple boxes. It was, I mean, I was the tallest of our cast. Jason and I are pretty much head to head. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, it's always hard to replace, you know, you guys know too, it's hard to replace somebody. Because the fans are so attached, and so I had been told that if the fans didn't like me, I was going to be shipped back to Australia. That was another intimidation factor.
Oh,
that's insane.
That's hard.
Crappy, you know what I mean? Like you can't, you know, you can't threaten somebody like that. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it was in my contract.
You could put it in their contract somehow.
That's what it was.
Say it to them like
that. They didn't say it to me. It was in my contract that I was on a probation period. So there was like a 3-month probation period.
Wow.
Well, you did it. You
killed it. Was it lazy booking on their end? On like the producers to call you Kat and you be a cat and your name is Catherine, or like how did that come around?
She was called Catherine in the script, and I remember when I went for the audition, going, "Oh, it's Catherine. Maybe that's serendipity. You know, I meant to have this role."
Right.
But if you notice, I just pointed this out to Kia. There was Kimberly, Kat, Cassie, Kendricks, Carone. Like the first 5 Pink Rangers were all K sounding names. Isn't that funny?
That's
is
crazy.
Fun fact for you.
I know that.
Now, Nakia, how about for yourself? Like you came in, right, and you also took over the mantle of like like when you had came into the show, there the Yellow Ranger was still like the first one left, and Karen came in, and you came in, but you were like you didn't don, if I remember correctly, you didn't don the original Mighty Morphin Power Ranger suit, right? You went straight into Zeo.
I think she was straight to Zeo.
You straight
yeah.
Zeo, right? So for you, how was it coming into this massive successful show at the time? What was it, like 96 when Zeo first came on the air for us as a viewer?
Yeah.
So like it was a steamrolling machine that was just plowing over every show. You talk about millions of viewers every week. How was that for you?
I had no idea, to be perfectly honest.
Wow.
I didn't know. Well, I'm in college, so I'm not really watching Power Rangers. I hadn't heard about it. And I'm away from my family, so I'm not around like little kids. So I really did not know. I remember being on the set and hearing about it. I remember when we were about to film the Turbo movie, and we had to do the tour and everything, is when I was like,
that's when it probably hit you.
Yeah,
the most.
That's when it hit me. Like, oh wow, this is something
real.
Big. This is real. Yeah. I was on our live yesterday. We were talking about similar question. I am the only one in the Zeo cast that did not wear a Mighty Morphin suit. I'm the only one that was not a part of Mighty Morphin. And it's sometimes it's like, dang, why I gotta be the only one? But it is what it is. Karen did a fantastic job, and so did Twee. So I was very grateful to be a part of Zeo.
You should just put it on. Just put
it on, please. Do a photo shoot for your. Put it up on Patreon. Let people buy it. You sign it. I'm here for it.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
I'm just a simple guy sitting here.
I know you've definitely donned the red Time Force Ranger.
Yes, you did.
I remember that picture, that video where you
came up with that.
Put on your little tiny yellow
Zeo
Ranger
yellow,
suit.
Yeah. Is there a picture of this somewhere?
Oh my God! There's a whole video of it.
Yeah.
There's a video of them walking down the hallway.
Steve, you know who came up with that idea, right? It was Font.
Came up with that. Yeah, of course, 100%.
He was like, Nakia, how about? And I was like,
he said jokes for that one.
And I was like, you know what? I trust you. I'm gonna do whatever you do. And then when we start filming it, we just had so much fun. It was so much fun.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
For those of you who haven't seen it, check it out. I mean, I don't know how to find it on YouTube. I don't remember, where I saw it on Instagram, but
it's on both of our Instagram pages.
It makes rounds all the time. Like people repost it all the time, which is great. Here's another question that I have for you guys. Steve, do you have anything you want to ask him, or Alice? I feel bad that I'm asking 1,000 questions.
No, please go ahead. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
It's all right.
Alice, you have anything?
No.
Oh, okay. You're here with us, Alice. Okay.
She's enjoying the meadow.
I was going to say, she's hanging out with the horses.
Very serene. And
can I be honest? Alice just looks like a picture we put up there because she hasn't, like, sometimes she doesn't move. So it's just wallpaper just hanging out.
Lovely wallpaper.
Very, very beautiful wallpaper. Yes. So now, Kat, Nakia, we know that Hasbro is making a ton of money off people's likeliness and stuff like that. Like, just putting out the old school stuff out there, right? I feel like you guys need a Lightning Collection action figure super soon, because I have. So listen, I'm that guy, right? I have Steve's Zeo Blue, right? But I kind of also replaced, because you replace the heads of the Red Ranger with Steve's, of Jay's, of Austin, So for me, it's like. They're coming out with all of these. They need to take the suggestions of, like, if you guys are re-releasing all of these, you need to re-release the cast that was part of everything, right? They really haven't done any Turbo Rangers either, so why not Nakia Turbo? Why not a Catherine Turbo? Or even just go that far back? But do you guys have any input? Have you guys tried talking to anybody at Hasbro, even before at Bandai, to make any personal ones? Like, you guys don't have any input on that?
No.
Go
ahead, Kia.
So some of the people that we used to talk to, well, not used to, we still talk to, but no longer work. They used to work for Saban and ended up going over to Hasbro, no longer working at Hasbro. So I personally don't know anybody at Hasbro. Since
we had some allies over there from Saban that were helping with the transition, but once the transition, those guys were out, and I'm like, great. Now we have no We have no connections. I mean, I even had, I had a sit down meeting with Hasbro. I'm not Hasbro. Sorry, I had a sit down meeting with Saban. I don't know if I told you about this or not, but I have there's a manufacturer in Dallas, and he makes all kinds of like supplements and all kinds of stuff like that. But one thing he has is he's got these vitamins, children's vitamins specifically, and they're gummy children's vitamins, like the Flintstone gummy.
Yeah.
Right.
I eat gummies.
So the same thing, right? So we sat down, we created an entire presentation, okay, with like manufactured bottles with all the Power Ranger stuff on it. We had JC do all the artwork. We had Griff do all the artwork for it. We had a whole campaign with posters, and we called it Power Gummies. We had the whole thing all set up, and we had Saban eating out of our hand. We had all the guys who were the head of marketing and licensing and everything all in the boardroom with us. We're going over everything. They loved it. And they're like, yeah, we want to move forward with this. We totally want to give you guys the licensing to do it, especially if you can roll it out in the next like 6 months or whatever. So no problem. We can make that work. Because he had the whole manufacturing company that all the bottling labels, everything like can be made instantly. And then we also had all the connections to set it up in Target and set it up.
Oh my God.
Well as online sales and everything. We were completely ready to roll out. And while they were drawing up our letter of intent, they sold to Hasbro.
Right.
And so we couldn't, because the letter of intent was not finished, we could not get grandfathered in with the licensing. And Hasbro said, well, we'll take a look at it. And this is, I swear to God, they said this, we'll take a look at it. But honestly, we move very, 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 very slow. We probably won't hear from us.
Wow.
Maybe ever for a couple of
years.
And I was like, dude, you guys are missing something so amazing. And we had it all set up and ready to go. And they were all organic and everything too. And I was like, this was a winner right here.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks. I'm so sorry.
I'm still salty about that.
I would be too. So you had no idea, right? You had no idea that Saban was going to sell. Like they
no idea. No idea.
That when they did that sale, that came like overnight. Like even the fans themselves like were shocked.
Nobody knew
that Hasbro overnight the next morning during a toy show mentioned that, hey, we just bought Power Rangers, and everybody was like, what just happened? And like the relationship with Bandai was cut. Like everything just. Did you guys, by any chance, did you guys ever have like besides Ninja Steel? I think you guys were in Ninja Steel, right? No, Cat was in Ninja Steel.
Cat and I were.
Yeah, like was there any talks of ever like having you guys come back? And I know that they're redoing this whole thing now where they might be going back in time. Hopefully Hasbro will hit you guys up.
Wow.
But, I don't know if you guys heard about that. The new movie that they're talking about, they're trying to intertwine it with the new season of Dino Fury where they go back in time and meet the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. How? I don't know.
Are they
gonna recast? I don't know. These are the things that are rumbling right now.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool to kind of like just have the OGs. And I spoke to Steve about this before. Just like it doesn't cost anything for them because they're billionaires to have you guys make a cameo. Fans would go ape shit over this. For you guys to just be there. Do you guys ever think about that? Like talk about it amongst yourselves about being, I know Steve and I always mention it, but you guys ever like try to maybe even get in touch with anybody? Cause I know Steve said that there's a lot of ADs and stuff that are kind of carried over, right? That are still part of the team.
That's the TV show. That's not the movie. That's
right.
They did reach out to a bunch of us. I think they reached out to you guys for Beast Morphers when Austin went back.
Right.
And I told Chip that I wasn't going to do it because I wanted to do something more. I didn't want to just be a face. Like we were just a face in the last one. I wanted, if I was going to come back, like I've already done it. If I come back, I want it to be more homage to my character. And they're not going to do that. It's literally just like a flash. So I've done it now. I did it for the fans. We had a great time. But it like Rocky, and I was saying this to Jay last night. I'm like, you're supposed to be your wife. You didn't even say hello to me. You didn't even try to rescue me first. Rocky and Kat, they never even acted like they knew each other. It was like,
I know.
That's so true.
Weird.
Wow.
It was weird.
Yeah.
we kind of had to try and build that in a little bit, like to make it look like something, but it was pointless because they gave us nothing.
Steve mentions this all the time. Steve mentions about the story and how to build it and how to do it
Yeah.
correctly, and he
Yes.
gets upset. Part of its rants on Tuesdays
Yeah.
is about how, like, you know, to incorporate legacy Rangers like yourselves
Yes.
into the
Yes.
series. You know,
Yeah.
I know that the comic book is doing you guys a ton of service because they're writing you guys into the comic books. I haven't
Yeah.
seen Kat or Nakia's your characters yet. I know I've seen like
Nakia's
little
fine.
snippets.
Well,
Mine was there.
What? Where?
Mine
Well,
was
I
there.
think they have some like offshoot ones.
Offshoot
but the,
ones.
The
Yes.
storyline as it's going right now, it's barely just Rocky, Adam, and Aisha
Yeah.
are barely coming in right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
As far as, like,
Mine was
the
Beyond
TV
the Grid.
storyline.
Beyond the Grid, you were
Yeah,
in
right.
it.
Beyond the
There's
Right.
like a
Yes.
bunch of offshoot ones. Like
Yeah.
there's the Shattered Grid, there's Beyond the Grid, there's
Yes.
but the actual like Mighty Morphin Power
Right.
Rangers or that
So
one
I know
is-
they themselves are taking a great deal of time into looking into you guys' backgrounds and writing the story so perfectly. Like even for
Yeah.
I just mentioned to Steve that the last issue, Tommy gets his ass kicked and he's down and out, and the entire team just looks at him in the comic book and says, "What do we do now, Rocky?" And Rocky's like, "Why are you asking me?" He goes, "Because you're wearing red." You know, so that automatically made him the team leader. You know, so I think
Wow.
there's those little
It's like
aspects and things that are happening
default.
in the default. Yeah, that hopefully get written in, and we see you guys, you know, don the pages because there's a whole new generation now picking these things up. And you know, I feel like Boom is setting it up for another 30 years for you guys to be known.
Well, you know, I'll tell you what, and actually that's a really a good point. There's a lot of young kids now because of Netflix and stuff that are
Yeah.
watching all of our old stuff, and we really get to experience that all the time. You know, a lot of kids. Remember, like a lot of kids will come up. Oh yeah, you're Nakia Burrise. You were the third Yellow Ranger in Power Rangers Zeo, and they're like
Yes.
7 years old.
Yes.
And I'm like, how the fuck do you know that? You know. And
Do you
it's
guys-
like,
Yes.
and the parents are like, hey, they found it on their own. You know what I mean?
They like the
Yeah.
old ones. They like the old
Yeah.
episodes. That's what they're
Yeah.
interested in.
Now you guys both
Very
have
charming.
children, so
Mhm.
how did they take this all in when they saw you? Were they just like, "Oh, mom, that's just your job," or is it something like, "I can't believe like the hype behind you guys is real"? You know, like you guys are true legends of television. You know, because you are, believe it or not. Like you gotta you gotta think of you're part of a 27-year-old show. You know, even
Yeah.
even the Kardashians got canceled yesterday.
Thanks for reminding
know what I'm
me.
saying?
Did it?
the Lord. Thank you. Thank
know, after-
goodness
Even
that's out
wait
of
a
our
second,
life.
I missed it. Even the Kardashians, what? Sorry, I
Got
was talking.
canceled.
Got canceled.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
after 20 seasons.
Gone.
So you guys are 27 and counting, and there's no stopping them. Like they're still doing things. So how did your children react to all of this growing up?
My kids didn't watch it. They watched everything except Power Rangers. But you know, as they got older, Lily, the first time my daughter realized was she was in kindergarten and they were doing a Halloween project and they were talking about costumes. And she said, "My mommy's the Pink Ranger," and the moms were like, "Oh, that's nice, sweetie. She's gonna be the Pink
Oh
Ranger." She
my
goes,
God.
"No, she really is the Pink Ranger." And they're like, "Oh, okay." So that was the first. Yeah, it was cute. But it's really weird because a lot of my daughter's 14 and my son's 12, and they all like know me. They know the show.
Right.
So they all think it's really cool. And my kids use that to their advantage, I think. I think they're proud of me. But
That's so
they
awesome.
think the show is very cheesy.
Yeah.
Well, you look
My
at it
boys-
now.
My boys are 20. My oldest is 20 and my youngest is 17. So when they found out about Power Rangers, I think they didn't quite understand when they were younger. But then I think they definitely use it to their advantage. I know that one point when my oldest son, I think he was probably a junior in high school, I guess at school he was asked a lot about, because since Power Rangers, I've gone on and I've done other things. So I've done a lot of commercials and guest star in different shows and so forth. So I guess my children get asked about that. And so my oldest son was like, "Look, Mom, I just want my friends to know you as Mrs. Gavino. That's my married name." And I was like,
Yes.
"That's fine. Completely. I respect that completely. No problem." And 2 days later, he comes home and he's like, "So you know, Mom, Anthony, he wants an autographed picture." I was like, "Wait a minute.
Oh
What, you
my
still talking?
God.
What, you told me you weren't going to talk anything about acting or anything like that. And then it's just, so I think they definitely are very proud and very happy. I know that when I booked the role on Danger Force as the mom to superheroes on Nickelodeon, my younger son was like, thank you. My youngest son was like, Mom, I'm really proud of you.
Aww,
Thank you.
So cute.
Thank you.
That's so cute.
I know.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I went to, when you have kids, I pretty much live in sweats and leggings and look like a hot mess most of the time. This is you got me. I actually did my hair for you.
My. So honored.
Same here.
Thank you.
So
Me too.
I go to my daughter's school. Like my daughter was having like a back to school night, and I, got my hair in a ponytail and I'm all messy, and she says, all that her friends, these friends from her class come up to her and are asking her, is that your mom? Is that really your mom? And she's like, yes. And then it's like, can she sign this? And can she sign that?
Oh my God.
I was so embarrassed because I'm like, I didn't know. I was like, my hair. Oh my God.
Listen.
These little kids are like asking me for autographs. It was so awkward.
You guys made a lot of kids, teenagers, like grow up basically. You know what I'm saying? They see you now, and I'm pretty sure like I've read on the chat, they still love you to death. So you know what I'm saying? Like,
you're blessed. Love you
by
too.
the way, this is off screen because I don't want to put it on screen. You guys can see it, but this is my little one. This is my 2-year-old daughter. Okay, running around the house.
The red helmet.
Okay.
I love
She
it.
loves wearing that thing.
That
That's
is so
funny.
cute.
She's adorable.
That was my daughter
That
running
girl is
around.
adorable.
Yeah, and has watched every single episode, knows the lyrics, knows how to sing it. It's insane, and she thinks it's funny because I'll tell her I'm talking to them, and she just like stares at it like, no, you're not. Like they're not wearing their because they'll watch the YouTube video afterwards, and she'll be like, no, that's not them. What are you talking about? But but it's cool that like Steve said, there's a whole generation just growing up rewatching this, and it's amazing to know that it's still going on. And there's a lot of people that haven't grown up 27 years later are still in love with
and
the
we
show.
appreciate them,
myself included.
I didn't grow up.
And
I haven't grown up either.
I know it's insane. And are you guys? I know, Catherine. We talked about a little bit about any projects. You talk about Power Ranger Playback. I know you're also. Are you still involved with Legend of the White Dragon?
Yes.
Okay. So
I haven't seen a script yet, but but yes, I am. Involved.
Okay. Cool. So
How exciting.
I know that's pretty cool to do. And
that's gonna
Nakia,
blow up when it happens.
Oh my gosh, you should hear what he's got planned. Like he's creating a whole universe. It's pretty amazing. Like and he's getting a lot of like bigger backers. It's going to be bigger than they even thought now. So I'm very excited for that.
When he came on the show, he definitely spoke about wanting to have like our US version of something, because that was something that he wanted to talk about. And he mentioned it to Steve about having Steve on and all these people, like people that he knew, family, come towards the show and like build something here in the United States for ourselves, as opposed to grabbing what was out there. Nakia, you mentioned you're a producer, so anything that you like have thought of, any scripts that you've written, anything like that, or producer in other terms?
Of course.
Of
course.
Anything you want to throw out there that you might want to like share with us? Any stories?
I started my producing in 2015 when I produced my own web series called Class Dismissed, based off of a character that I wanted to play and based off of my life after Power Rangers. And now we've kept rewriting. And actually this weekend we start pitching sessions with about 7 different producers. So I've been working on that this entire week, trying to get that show sold. So God willing, that will happen. But I didn't know that I loved producing until I started producing that. And Steve knows a little bit about my character, Liz.
Yes. Yeah, I remember. Because we did an episode of like your Class Dismissed, and Liz came up to my table.
Yes.
It was like an Uber fan.
Mr. Cobb.
Oh yes, I saw that you put it up on your Instagram. I remember watching. I'm like, what is she doing on the table like that? And you were like, I'm such a fan, and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. So that's something that you're putting together then.
So that is
So
based
clever.
off of my character Liz from my character Liz from Class Dismissed. She's a little bit more zany than she is in Class Dismissed, but Liz has visited a lot of the Rangers. She's visited Catherine, Steve,
She has.
Johnny. But see, Johnny was complete. Like, he had no idea. Everybody knew we were at a con, and she always comes to cons and visits. And Johnny, we were in Europe, and we were at a Showmasters show. And there was cameras over here and cameras over there, and Johnny had no idea. And I was so loud. I'm surprised that the security didn't come and like arrest me, because I was like, Johnny! And he was just like, but then he was like, okay. And then we started dancing. It was funny. It was a lot of fun.
That's
He tried to
amazing.
hide from you under the table, and you were like, I see you.
That's so. I can't wait to
love
see
it.
like a finished version of that. That's gonna be amazing.
Sometimes that's kind of a good way to do it too. It's total like shock
Yes.
factor. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna get a real reaction from them. You know?
Yes, that's
kinda
exactly
fun, too.
exactly what it was. It was complete improv the entire time. But even
Yeah.
when I did that with you, it was complete.
Yeah.
You knew I
Yeah.
was coming to your table, but you had no idea what I was going to say. So
Well, right. I think you kind of gave me an idea of what you wanted to do, though. So I had a little bit of like, I was ready for it a little bit, you know.
but your expressions were great, because you were like, whoa.
I saw that.
I didn't know I was going to pop on the table.
He looked worried in that video. That was amazing. Yeah. And we'll post that up on the
funny.
Fantastic Duo Show. I'll find it and I'll repost it,
we should
because
post that up.
for sure, because that was amazing.
Have you seen that, Alice? Have you
Yeah,
gotten a chance? Oh, okay.
I've seen the live one. I mean, you repeated it. One of the cons we were at, you repeated it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was so good.
You gave her a live
I
action
died.
version.
It was beautiful. I'll
That's
never
funny.
forget it. I'll never forget it.
The horses behind Alice love the show, by the way. They've been
Yeah.
paying
Oh, yeah.
attention. They
One's
haven't.
lifting
They,
their head
That
up. One's
one.
lifting his head up. He's been watching.
These
The
Yeah.
one behind there's been watching the whole time. There's another one who's looking.
Riveted,
The other one's hungry though. He's eating.
they
He's just
haven't
listening.
left. Those are. I hope they become subscribers at some point.
I
So-
already gifted them. Okay.
Yeah, Alice. By the way, publicly now, and now that we have you on camera, thank you so much for everything you've done to support the show
you're so
and
welcome.
made
Yeah,
it.
she's been really supportive of the show.
Yeah,
for sure,
she's been gifting
always on the
subs.
chat all the time.
Yeah,
always like
yeah.
throwing out
Yes,
subscriptions
eh?
to everybody and
Aw.
stuff. It's like really nice.
Yeah, and I want
will
to.
be like, every
Yeah.
week I'll be on there and
She's
say-
really she jump started the show subscriptions, gifting subscriptions. So like after that, it was just a train that kept on rolling. So I personally want to thank you for helping us. And I actually
Me too,
little
me too.
before we go,
love you
Nakia and
guys.
Catherine, I actually hit up Alice like one time. I was like, hey, I don't know what it was about, but I was like, hey, do you think Steve would like to do this? And I pitched the idea to her. And
Yeah, you do.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And,
He doesn't know this.
no, he
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
know
that's
this.
right.
Yeah,
This
Steve.
moment, yeah.
Steve, you don't know
Yeah,
this. So, so you
Yeah.
when I had just said, I was like, oh my god,
I
you know,
knew.
you and Steve are whatever. It was like a great couple, something like that. I was like complimenting both of y'all, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I have an idea for Steve, and I want to hit him up. I asked her for advice, basically. I said, do you think it's a good idea?
Okay.
And she was like, oh my god, yes, that would be amazing. And I was like, okay, I'll see if I pitch it to him.
So you had talked to her about her before we even started the show.
Yeah.
I told him to message
Oh,
you.
Yeah, she told me to message you.
I thought you were talking about you talked to her about doing this episode. And
No. This is before
About
the
the
Fantastic Duo
Fantastic
show
Duo show.
became a thing, because I had just hit up
that's so
Steve.
cool.
I sent Steve a message and I felt like I was a weirdo, just like, hey, I'm a producer and I do this, and I was like, hey, do you think this was a good idea? I feel weird. And Steve was
Well,
like,
I mean-
Steve hit me up right away. Steve was like, yo, let's do this, But it was really
well,
cool.
you got me at a lucky time in that sense, because me and Brad were kind of already talking about doing something.
Yeah,
like
that's
this, but
right,
He
you
just got
told
too
me.
busy. He got
Yeah.
too busy, and then all of a sudden, like I just. It was just like, hey, we're not going to be able to make it work right now. I was like, damn, man, I was ready to do this. And then the very next day, you messaged me and
Wow.
said,
Yeah.
hey, I want to do this. So,
And I felt like I was like weird.
What's his name? Arsenio Hall in Coming to America. There's a God somewhere. There's a God somewhere.
Yeah, so that's a little a little peek behind the curtain there. I just didn't know if I was doing the right
Oh,
thing
I
or
didn't
not.
know that.
I gave him a
High
bit of
five, sister.
Yeah,
between
yeah.
us, I give
well,
him
not
a
anymore. Now it's everybody. It's out in the Twitch.
Well,
verse
yeah,
now.
I mean,
I know now.
I love it.
I just didn't know. And sometimes you gotta how they say the kids say, shoot your shot. I don't know what kids are saying nowadays.
You gotta take your shot.
Take your shot.
Yeah, you see, I'm an old man. But anyway, I personally want to thank you guys for coming on the show, and for Steve obviously reaching out to them and having them come on. It was like, unfortunately, the time has come.
And I'm looking forward to doing your show. So can we tell everybody what day they can come and watch us do our thing on your show?
Wednesday at 3
Next
p.m.
Wednesday.
Yes, it's September 16th at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
So 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then can you also tell everybody where they can watch, because your show is now live now. It's not playback. You do it on YouTube. You're doing live shows, but they also put them on YouTube as well.
Yes.
But my question is, when can everybody watch the show all the time on a regular basis live?
Go to our YouTube channel, Power Rangers Playback, and there's tons of episodes. There's our game show is on there, our playback episodes where we're actually watching. We're still recording those episodes too, where we're watching the episodes and talking about them. We have Power Cook-Off, we have favorite things, and then this whole month we're going live on Wednesday, every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Next week, yesterday was JDF, next Wednesday is Steve, and then the week after that is Karen Ashley. So it's almost a stone canyon, but we don't have Johnny coming on yet.
By the way,
I still need to get Johnny on this show too.
That's 3 p.m. Pacific time, right?
Yes.
6 p.m. East Coast, because we have a lot of people here on the East Coast that are on.
6 p.m. East Coast.
So it's 3 p.m. West Coast time, 6 p.m. here. So make sure
midnight.
And Alice and Steve will be watching. At midnight.
I'll be on the show.
They'll be on it.
At midnight.
Yeah, they'll be on it. And if you guys really quickly, where they can follow you guys, Power Rangers Playback on everything.
Yeah, we have Instagram is Power Rangers Playback. We're also on Twitter. Power, what is it, Kia?
Playback Power
on Twitter. We have a Facebook page, Power Rangers Playback, and then we have we're on Patreon now, so we have Power Rangers Playback on Patreon, and then Power Rangers Playback on YouTube. So
you can choose to be one of our members on Patreon or also on YouTube. It's two different options, but the same team. And we have so many perks, and we just opened up a Discord just for our Power Rangers fans, our members. Team, our members get a chance to interact as late, and they're up to like midnight, 11 o'clock, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, just conversing. But awesome. So we're really happy.
We've created a real little community for them, and it's really awesome.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, there's only so much that we can do now these days when it comes to like not being able to deal with the fans or not being able to see the fans and stuff like that. So for you guys to put it out there and to get it going and to reach the success that you've had with it, I'm super happy for you guys. Super excited. I took a page right out of your book. It probably looked like I was biting your stuff. I'm like, I'm biting. What are you doing? No, but and anyway, so I'm just happy because we're all part of a big family. So whenever we see one of our fellow Rangers, doing something great and succeeding, we just want to totally get behind that and support it. So we appreciate that, and always giving back to the fans all the time. It's something I'm very big on.
And I want to say thank you again, Steve, for I know you're about, so you could do your closing. I just want to say thank you. Thank you to you ladies. Thank you to Alice. This has been again another one of my bucket list dreams things come true because of Steve.
2 crushes.
Oh, damn it. So I want to thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
And don't forget,
check us out.
Tomorrow night, guys, I'll be live with Austin Romero, aka Mike Rome of WWE, on Into the Morphin Grid right here on this channel as well. So you guys can come and
definitely
watch
check
us
out
there,
that if you guys haven't started watching that. These guys battle each other all the time and take on what do you guys do? What do you guys do? The Ranger game?
Yeah, we do Power Rangers, Battle of the Grid. We just beat the crap out of each other on there, or we'll have guests.
Basically like Power Rangers, but Mortal Kombat. It's pretty.
Pretty much. Yeah. So we have a good time on there.
Have you never seen the game?
No.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Yeah. It's really
I heard my character's really strong in the game.
Yeah. What
OP.
platform is it on?
It's on everything: Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox. You guys can grab it digitally or go to GameStop and go grab it. Yeah. Oh, and I think there's a second one, but that one's on the phone. That one's different, but whatever. But I'm off. I'm gonna stop talking and let Steve close the show. Thank you guys.
Again, thanks again for everybody, and on behalf of myself and everyone here on the show today, may the power protect you guys, and everybody stay safe out there. Thanks.